Hello children. Today I am going to start your chapter number 2, that is all about polynomials. Polynomials means, as the word says, poly means many and nomial means here term. That means an algebraical expressions which contains many terms, that is known as polynomial. You are aware about these polynomials from your previous classes. You know monomial, binomial, trinomial and polynomial. Here suppose if I am writing 2x and I am writing 2x plus 1 and I am writing 2x square plus 3x minus 5, then I am writing 3x cube minus 2x square plus 4x plus 7. Now this is your monomial. 2x is a monomial. You are telling it as monomial. Then this is binomial. Why it is a binomial? Because there are two terms. This is a single term, so it is known as monomial. When you are having double term, that means it is a binomial, and when you are having 1, 2 and 3 terms, that means it is a trinomial. And more than 3 terms, here number of terms you can say 1, 2, 3 and 4. 4 or more terms if you are having, actually if it is having 4 terms, you can say that it is a quadrinomial, but you can also tell it as a polynomial. So it is your polynomial. That you know, you are aware about that if number of terms is more than 3, then we are telling it as a polynomial. So in a polynomial, number of term may be 4 or more. Here we have to understand some special things regarding these polynomials. How you have drawn the graph of a linear polynomial. Linear polynomial means, you understand, where only one variable is used, that is a linear polynomial. And when you are using 2 variables, that means it is a polynomial on 2 variables. So here you all know how to draw the graph. And about the zeros of the polynomial also you are aware that if suppose I am writing px equal to something, suppose 2x plus 1, if px equal to 2x plus 1, and if I will ask you what is the 0 of this px, then what you are doing? Actually you are writing it like this: 2x plus 1 equal to 0, then 2x equal to minus 1 and then x equal to minus 1 by 2. That means x equal to minus 1 by 2 is a 0 of this 2x, this px. That means when I will write p minus 1 by 2, it will give you the value 0. In this polynomial, instead of x, if you are going to write minus 1 by 2, that means automatically its value will be 0. How? You can write 2 into minus 1 by 2 plus 1, you can see that it is minus 1 plus minus 1 means 0. So a polynomial may have 1 0 or may have 2 0. As you know, if you are having linear polynomial, that means it is having only 1 0. But if you are having a quadratic polynomial, then it is having 2 zeros. Zeros are depending upon its degree or power. So by looking at its degree or power, you can decide that how many zeros this polynomial is having. If it is a linear polynomial, that means power of this x is 1. And if I am talking about a quadratic polynomial, then its degree is 2. That means you can say that it is having 2 zeros. And if you are having a cubic polynomial, that means its degree is 3. That means it is having 3 zeros. So today we will discuss that how we can decide or how we can say whether the given polynomial is having 1 0 or 2 0 or 3 0 by looking at its graph. So, here I am showing you something that you have seen the graph of the polynomial. In that graph, what you have seen, if I am drawing the graph of any polynomial, this is y and this is y dash and here it is 0. Now, suppose I am doing a graph of this polynomial like that, here you see. So, if you will see the graph, suppose one graph I have seen and it is drawn like that, and by looking at the graph I want to decide that how many zeros are there. How many zeros are there? Then you can say that it is intersecting the x axis at how many points? Exactly 2 points. That means it is having 2 zeros. It is having 2 zeros. That means I want to tell you all that on looking at the graph of a polynomial, you have to check that at how many points the graph of the given polynomial is intersecting with x axis, and the number of intersection points will give you the number of 0 for that polynomial. Okay, after that, just I have discussed here two things only, that the main thing about this polynomial is there that you have to tell that how many zeros are there for the given polynomial by looking at its graph. That is also known as the geometrical meaning of the polynomial. Geometrical meaning of the zeros of the polynomial, that means you have to draw the graph. So, x coordinate of the point of intersection of the graph of a polynomial is known as its 0. Number of zeros of a polynomial is equal to number of point of intersection of the graph of polynomial with x axis. By taking this thing, you can do exercise 2.1. So, let us see exercise 2.1 and understand this concept. Exercise 2.1, you just turn out the book and see question number 1 is there. The graph of y equal to px are given in the figure below. For some polynomial px, find the number of zeros of px in each case. So, here you can see that your first number graph, the first number graph is drawn like that. Here you see, graph is drawn like that. Here, this is the graph which I am copying from your book itself, and here like this one graph is drawn, and they are asking that how many zeros are there for this polynomial. Do you guess? Can you guess that how many zeros are there? So, here you can see this graph shows px has no zero. Why? Because the line of the graph is not intersecting x axis at any point, that means this polynomial is having no zero. So, number of 0, we can say that this graph shows that px has no zero. Px has no zeros. Why px has no zero? Because it is not intersecting x axis at any point. Now, I am looking at the graph number 2, that is your question number 2 is there. This is from question number 1 and then 1 2, your graph is drawn in this style that you can see. The graph is like that. Here it is y and here the axis is x axis, and you can see the graph is like this. So, here they are asking that how many zeros are there. This graph shows, this graph is intersecting the x-axis at how many point? You can see at one point it is intersecting, that means this graph shows Px has 1 0. This graph shows Px has 1 0. So I hope that now it is clear that by looking your graph you can say that how many zeros are there for the polynomial Px. Now number 3, as you can look at your book and see the graph of 3 number. Now I am telling you all to just take the book and look over there, the third number. Just you check how many points it is intersecting the x-axis. Can you say that how many zeros are possible for this 3 number question? What is your answer? Okay, so you can say that it is having 3 zeros because it is intersecting x-axis at 3 points. How? The third number question, the graph is nearly like this. I am drawing the graph on my board and the graph is just like this. See, this is the graph of third number question. This is 1 3 and just you count the points at how many points it is intersecting. It is intersecting x-axis. This is 1, this is 2 and this is 3. 1, 2 and 3. At 3 points the graph of this Px, this polynomial Px is intersecting x-axis. That means here number of zeros are 3. This graph shows, you can write your answer like this. This graph shows, Px has 3 zeros. Px has 3 zeros. 3 zeros. So now I hope that it is clear and you can do all these questions from question number 1 like that. Just you see question number 4 of your exercise 2.1. Now you can see this graph intersecting x-axis at exactly 2 points. So number of zeros for this 4 number question will be 2 zeros because it is intersecting x-axis at exactly 2 points. Now look at question number 5. Look at the question number 5, 1 5. You can see that this time the graph is intersecting x-axis at 4 points. So number of zeros are 4. Now 6 number question, you can see how many points it is touching or intersecting the x-axis exactly at 3 points. That means it is having 3 zeros. For question number 6, how many zeros are there for Px? There are 3 zeros. So like this you can do exercise 2.1. This is the study of graph of the given polynomial, and by looking at the graph you can decide that how many zeros are possible for this Px. Now going for exercise 2.2. So 2.2 is there, that is relation between the zeros and the coefficient of a quadratic polynomial. So here you all go on exercise 2.2 now. Now here there are few important terms and conditions which you have to see. Now I am talking about a quadratic polynomial. So this is exercise 2.2 and what we have to discuss here about a quadratic polynomial. You know that if I am writing a polynomial which is written, Px is written in this form, ax square plus bx, ax square plus bx plus c, then it is said to be a quadratic polynomial. This is the standard form of a quadratic polynomial. If anybody is asking you that, just you tell me what is the standard form of a quadratic polynomial, your answer should be ax square plus bx plus c, where a, b and c, these are the real numbers. A, B, C are the real numbers. These are the real numbers, means any number is possible for this. There is no problem. Either the value of A may be in as a whole number, maybe as a rational number, maybe as a decimal number. So A, B, C is a real number, and at the place of x you may have the variable, but take care that this variable should be similar, because here if I am writing x square, here x should be there, I cannot write here y. So this is known as the standard form of a quadratic polynomial, and it is always appearing to you as a square plus bx plus c, where a, b and c is a real number. And one other condition is also there, that where a should not be equal to 0. It is also very important condition for a quadratic polynomial, that a should not equal to 0, because if a, you will be writing the value of a 0, then this entire 0 into x square becomes 0. Then you will not have the quadratic polynomial, you will have a linear polynomial. So it is told that a should not be equal to 0. Then this is the standard form of a quadratic polynomial. So you note down it and keep it in your mind for doing the other work. Now one more thing is there. After understanding the standard form of a quadratic polynomial, you have to understood that how many zeros are there and what is relation between the zeros and the coefficient of a quadratic polynomial. Suppose I am writing ax square plus bx plus c. It is a quadratic polynomial. Exactly, you know that it is having two zeros. Suppose let alpha and beta are the zeros of this polynomial. Zeros of this polynomial, and this polynomial's name is px. Let alpha and beta are the zeros of polynomial px. Okay, so now the first relation for this zeros is that alpha plus beta equal to minus b by a, and the second prominent relation is alpha into beta equal to c by a. That means the sum of zeros for a quadratic polynomial is minus b by a, and product of zeros of a quadratic polynomial is c by a. This relation is valid for all the quadratic polynomials. Now alpha plus beta means minus b by a, and alpha into beta equal to c by a. So you have to write this. This is very important relation among the zeros of a quadratic polynomial. So this is very important thing. Now if sometimes alpha and beta are known, sometimes you may have this is given that if alpha and beta are the zeros of a quadratic polynomial, if alpha and beta are the zeros of a quadratic polynomial, then the required polynomial will be x square minus alpha plus beta into x plus alpha into beta. This formula or this relation will help you to find a quadratic polynomial when alpha and beta are known. That means if the zeros of a quadratic polynomial is known, and then you can frame a quadratic polynomial by using this relation. That means if alpha and beta are the zeros of a quadratic polynomial, then the required polynomial will be x square minus alpha plus beta into x plus alpha into beta. Here you have to use this formula when the zeros of a quadratic polynomial is given in the question, and you have to frame the polynomial. You have to frame the quadratic polynomial. At that case, you can apply this formula to find the polynomial. Now, sometimes somewhere you can see that when you will arrange it, then you will have a value k, and it will be written outside this polynomial as a common, but here k should be a constant only. Okay, generally we take k is equal to 1, k is equal to 1, but sometimes its value is different, so that we can say where k is a constant, where k is a constant. So, just you write down this formula. I will show you the application of these formula. These are only two formula for this exercise 2.2. Right now, I am going to show you some questions related to this formula. That means how you will be going to apply this formula in doing sums. So, let us see the questions now. Exercise 2.2. Just turn out your page and see. Find the zeros of the following quadratic polynomial. This is question number 1. It is written that find the zeros of the following quadratic polynomials and verify the relationship between the zeros and the coefficients. That means what you want to do, first of all you want to find the zeros of this quadratic polynomial, then you are going to find the verify, actually you have to verify the relationship between the zeros and the coefficients. So, let us see how to do this question. This is 1 1, and here it is written x square minus 2x, x square minus 2x, and then minus 8. This is the question. So, you need to find the zeros of this quadratic polynomial. Okay. So, first statement we will write, let px equal to x square minus 2x minus 8, and then you have to factorize it. You have to factorize it. How? Here by middle term splitting rule, or by applying the formula of a plus b whole square, or by applying the formula a minus b whole square. Any of the formula can be used to find the zeros, or by applying the formula a square minus b square equal to a plus b into a minus b. For this you have to check the format of the question, that in which format it is fitting. So, here first of all I am checking that here 8 is there, and here the coefficient of x square is 1. So, 8 into 1 is 8, and now 8 into 1 is 8. So, I am checking the factors of it, which will give me 2. So, let us check that how many factors of 8 are there. 1 into 8, then 2 into 4. There are only 2 factors, and here 4 minus 2 will give you 2. That means when I will go for factorization, I can write here minus 4x and plus 2x and minus 8. So, like that we can split the middle term. Minus 4x plus 2x will give me minus 2. Now, if I am taking common from here and here, from here if x is common, it is giving x minus 4, and 2 is common, then x minus 4. Further, it can be written as x plus 2 into x minus 4. It is the factor of this px. Now, the zeros of px, that means, now it means we have to write the one statement, now the zeros of px, zeros of px. For the zeros of px, we can write either x plus 2 equal to 0 or x minus 4 equal to 0. If x plus 2 equal to 0, I can write x equal to minus 2, or if x minus 4 equal to 0, I can say that x equal to 4. That means we are having two zeros, x equal to minus 2 or x equal to 4. We have obtained these two zeros for this polynomial px. So we can say, therefore I can write here that alpha equal to minus 2 and beta equal to 4. That means alpha and beta are the roots of a quadratic polynomial. Alpha and beta are the roots of a quadratic polynomial. It is generally known as alpha and beta. So here the value of alpha is minus 2 and beta is 4. Actually these are the value of x itself, but when I am talking about the roots of this quadratic polynomial, you can name it as alpha and beta, because in the formulas I have used only alpha and beta. Now we will go for the verification about the relationship between the zeros and the coefficients. So here what to write? We know that alpha plus beta equal to minus b by a. Now verification, I am going to do the verification of the relation between the zeros and the coefficient. So since we know that alpha plus beta equal to minus b by a, so here what is alpha? So checking at LHS. First. So LHS means alpha and beta. Here the value of alpha is minus 2 and beta is 4. So what I am doing? Our LHS is alpha plus beta. So what I am doing? I am putting this value alpha as minus 2 and beta as 4. Then we are having 4 minus 2 means 2, and checking RHS That means in RHS we are having minus b by a. In RHS what we are having? Minus b by a. And from this question just you have to look what is the value of a here, what is the value of b here, and what is the value of c here. What you can say? At the place of a, what value you are having? 1. At the place of b, what value you are having? Minus 2. At the place of c, what value you are having? Minus 8. That means you are comparing your polynomial from the standard form of a quadratic polynomial. That means your quadratic polynomial's standard form is ax square plus bx plus c. So you are checking what is at the place of a. That means a is the coefficient of x square, and here what is the coefficient of x square? That is 1 only. So I have written here 1. And what is the coefficient of x here? B. And at the place of b you can see here you are having minus 2, and at the place of c what you are having? Minus 8. So a, b, c values you are having, and minus b means put here minus sign, and value of b is minus 2 and value of a is 1. So ultimately you are getting 2. That means the first relation is verified. You can see that here in first number alpha plus beta is coming 2, and here also from the equation directly when I am writing the value of b and a, this value is matching. That means the first relation is verified. So from first and second the first relation is verified. So I can write from first and second the first relation between the roots are verified. The first relation is verified. Relation is verified. Now you are having one more relation, that is alpha into beta equal to c by a. Alpha into beta equal to c by a. I hope that this part you have written, so I am just cleaning this part. Okay. Now I am checking that the second relation, that alpha into beta, and I can write alpha into beta. Since we know that alpha into beta equal to C by A, it is C by A. So again I am doing the same thing. I am writing LHS means alpha into beta, and what is the value of alpha? You have -2 and into what is the value of beta, that is 4. So 4 into -2 becomes -8, and your RHS is C by A, and from the your given polynomial the value of C is -8 and A is 1. That means it is giving you -8 itself. So take it as third number relation and take it as fourth number relation. So from 3 and 4, the second relation is verified. The second relation is verified. Second relation is verified. So like this you have verified the relationship between the zeros and the coefficient. That means the formula which was given to us regarding the relation of a quadratic polynomial, it is true. So here in question number 1 you have to find the zeros of a quadratic polynomial, and then you have to check or you have to verify the relation, that whether the given relation is true or false. So you will be doing question 1. There are 6 questions, and these questions I am giving you as a homework. You do, and just you can send me your answers. Okay, thank you for today.